I know that Australian time zone makes the first Grand Slam of the year a bit harder to follow, so this is a recap of everything you need to know that happened during the day 1 of the Australian Open. The defending champion Rafael Nadal overcame the Jack Draper test in the first round of the Australian Open, and even though I am not a huge fan of Rafa, I saw too much disrespect towards him in anticipation of this match. Many predicted that Rafa will exit the tournament after the first round, but there was no need for Nadal fans to stress out, because even though the first 2 sets of the match were kinda even, after that Jack Draper looked like he was the one who is 36 years old and started to massively struggle physically, which meant that he couldn't put up any significant fight against the 22-time Grand Slam winner. In the second round, Mackenzie McDonald will be the one to test out Nadal's form and whether or not he can compete for the title once again. Those are not good news to wake up to, but Nick Kyrgios is out of the Australian Open with a knee injury, which just sucks. There are no two ways about it. Whether you like him or you hate him, he's still the man on those Australian courts, and everybody knows that with the support of the rowdy Aussies and the immense talent of Nick, he was the one to watch in terms of upsetting the higher seeds. But such is life, and even though we won't have the chance to see him play this year, these unfortunate circumstances provide some players with the possibility of an easier draw. Andrei Rublev and especially Holger Rune now have a better chance at reaching the necessary round to play the king of the Australian Open, Novak Djokovic. And I would love to see him play Holger, and obviously Novak doesn't fear anyone on the court, but that Paris Masters loss might be fresh on his mind, which could provide fireworks during their encounter at the Australian Open. You might think, why am I singling this win out? And you can call me crazy, but I truly think that Ostapenko can do some damage at this tournament. I mean, have you seen the draw? With the withdrawal of Badosa, Ostapenko has a great chance at going at the very least till the quarters, if not further. Of course, I am aware that her game is very volatile, which means that she can lose to anyone. But at the same time, it means that she can cause problems to any of the top players in the world. And I'm banking on that happening at this Australian Open. I know that Borna wasn't mentioned as one of the contenders for the title, but the exit in the first round is absolutely disappointing for the Croatian, because everyone knows that he possesses a game that can make him a feared competitor. He has proven it in his run to the Cincinnati Trophy, where he beat Musetti, Nadal, Bautista Agut, Auger-Aliassime, Norrie and Tsitsipas in succession. Straight set loss against Jiří Lehečka certainly wasn't expected, as Čorić could have done so much more at this year's Australian Open. After losing the first set 6-1 and being taken to a tiebreak in the second, Felix Auger-Aliassime was able to turn the game around and beat his fellow countryman Vasek Pospišil. Felix was broken 4 times in total against an opponent that relies hugely on his serve, which isn't a good sign for the youngster, and his play definitely didn't instill me with any sort of confidence in terms of Felix's chances at going far into the tournament or even winning it as a whole. There were serious concerns that Emma wouldn't be able to play at the Australian Open after her injury woes continued in Auckland, where she rolled her ankle, but fortunately she healed from her injury and played a solid first round match. Admittedly, the opponent wasn't of the highest caliber, but people know that Raducanu needs to start racking up wins against anyone to overcome the bad spell that she's currently in. Most of the top seeds advanced to the second round, but yeah, those were the most important things that happened on day 1 of the Australian Open. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for more tennis content, and until next time, take it easy, my friend.